COVID-19 and Employment Insurance and Analysis by Mila, Haniel, Chino, Andrew, Yilin, and Lin. Public Economic Issue and Phenomena. In response to the COVID-19 pandemic, Canada has made public the Canada Emergency Response Benefit to provide financial relief to those who are unable to work. This has resulted in government spending of over $81 billion. This is a major contrast to the employment insurance spending in 2013 to 2014 of around $15.4 billion. CERB expenditure and changes in employment inevitably results in an economic recession. A recession occurs when there is an increase in employment, a rise in total benefit payments, and a reduction in total premiums collected. In response to this, the employment insurance system acts to shrink the recessionary gap through automatic stimulus, being an automatic stabilizer if revenues are exceeded by yearly expenditures.
I'm gonna explain why we choose this topic. How the government chooses to distribute public expenditure is very meaningful for the society. This topic is also worthy of our discussion from many aspects. The good aspect is that CRB ensures that people are able to pay for their basic daily necessities. On the other hand, it has also added to the concerns of some low-paid employers. The reason is that extension of CRB may cause employees to increase laziness and do not want to return to work. For social development, long-term welfare will have a negative impact on society, so that CRB is only a temporary solution.
Existing policies and programs.
The ongoing pandemic has created mass unemployment in Canada. In May 2020, peak unemployment rates were reported by Stats Canada to be 13.7%. In anticipation of combating further economic consequences, newly created federal aid policies were implemented, the most notable being the Canada Emergency Response Benefit. Since the conclusion of CERB's eligibility period, the employment insurance program has become the staple for tackling ongoing negative repercussions. EI has been a benefit for supporting those who have lost their jobs through no fault of their own. EI has positive effects during recessions and accompanying mass layoffs, as it can temporarily replace part of a laid-off worker's lost income. Furthermore, EI can protect unemployed workers from depleting their savings and encourage the replacement income to be reinvigorated into the economy. With EI incentives, unemployed workers can maintain consumption, so long as they are not in dire economic condition while searching for new employment. On the contrary, there are negative effects. Lengthened unemployment spells due to the preference of unemployment benefits over job salary can occur. Unemployed individuals may also falsify job searching while unemployed in order to continue to receive benefits. These negative effects have been amplified during the pandemic, carrying the potential for larger scale damage. As the current EI system is funded through tax appointed to employers and employees, the unemployment issue can contribute to further negative impacts. Due to the magnitude of EI usage and the ongoing pandemic, there will be higher benefit payments moving forward and further harm to the economic base for the payroll tax.
Policy recommendations.
In the policy recommendation section, to aid in the economic recovery from recession brought about by COVID-19 pandemic, the policy recommendations are to increase public expenditures by maintaining the emergency EI and CERB programs to combat unemployment and sharp contractions in the output and consumption. Government leaders would compare the policies' trade-off and challenges and finally choose the best intervention for society altogether. The increasing benefit will provide relief in the meantime to the labor force that Canada needs to stabilize the growth in its economy in the next 10 years.
However, arguments defending CERB abuse maintain that the panic associated with the pandemic and the introduction of a new type of income maintenance program contributed to the understandable confusion of eligibility. Some measures have been taken to aid those struggling with repayment. Namely, on February 9, 2021, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau stated that recipients of emergency benefits who made up to $75,000 in taxable income won't have to pay interest on 2020 tax debt until 2022. While this solution may help those who are eligible, it can leave those ineligible in crippling debt and may even facilitate another recession. Therefore, instead of repaying almost double the income benefit, repayment of up to 60% of the original amount may help the government recuperate losses while not being as much of a burden to the working class.
As for costs and benefits, the federal government of Canada generated an increased amount of expenditures in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. For the 2020 to 2021 fiscal year, the government posted a budgetary deficit of $268.2 billion, as compared to the 2019 to 2020 fiscal year, which posted a deficit of only $39.4 billion. This sharp increase in the deficit is a result of the increased spending towards emergency temporary measures implemented through the government's economic response plan. The dramatic shift in the government's fiscal budget reflects the severe deterioration in economic activity. As evidenced by the graph depicting the increased number of initial EI claimants, the government introduced temporary changes to the old employment insurance program to make it more simple, flexible, and generous to address this issue. These changes involved loosening the qualifying requirements for receiving EI and had extended the weeks of support. The benefit floor was also changed to be $500 per week and has resulted in a higher effective replacement rate compared to the normal EI rules pre-pandemic. Going forward, as of September 27, 2020, the CER benefits will be transitioned into various other EI programs. The projected costs of these EI extensions will total $32.5 billion over the next 3 years.
Providing additional EI benefits has helped to stabilize the overall demand for goods and services, as well as remove the many payments-related anxieties on consumers and businesses. Direct support measures are expected to result in an economic activity being 4.6 higher in 2020 and 4.4 higher in 2021 as compared to the case of no support. The direct support to EI and CERB has provided pivotal resistance to negative effects on the pandemic on employment rates. It has increased re-employment rates and saved almost 1.2 million jobs. The direct support funnel towards EI enhancements and CERB programs had been critical to saving the real GDP from rapid decline. Without the direct support, the unemployment rates would have been risen by an additional 6% in 2020 and 12% by the end of 2021. There have been also a substantial indirect benefit for businesses and household confidence. This is consistent with the economic evidence supporting the theory that fiscal policy is likely to be more effective during a recessionary period.
Conclusion. We propose keeping the enhancements to Canada's EI program, as it has been proven to be effective in combating sharp economic recessions and covers previously overlooked types of employment. Further, additional support will be required to help guard against the negative impacts of resurgent waves of the pandemic on employment.